Hi, it's Sherry St. Marie, and I welcome you to the cocktail party that is networking on social media. So I'm going to try to tonight explain some things to you from a little different version that perhaps maybe you were schooled in the past or you don't know. And so I want to tell you a couple exciting things. So here's the deal. I have never been trained on social media. I used to be a high school marketing teacher, as you all know. Clearly, things have changed since then. And I just get on the rodeo and learn how to ride. That's how I do things. So I want you to understand that because it's important. Partly I do it on purpose because when we all get so formally trained about things, watch what happens on social media. Look at your feed, right? It all looks the same. That's not a cocktail party, right? And so sometimes when we get too trained and again set about, I realize people want captions because, they can see and hear better, different at work and all that kind of stuff. I'm still not falling down on captions. Just hang on. We'll finish the party, right? But I, a lot of times, just watch and learn and figure things out. And I want to explain to everybody of all stages, ages, and countries, because I get them all over the world now. And I realize it's different in different places, right? We are all at this cocktail party. That's what social media is. So the people that are going about it as like hardcore drive business and all that kind of stuff, it is a tool that is never going away. And so I'm going to show and teach and share some things tonight. My point is never that you do it like me, because there's only one myself, not an arrogance. There's only one you in your way and your style. We don't want everybody at the party being all glitz and stuff and whatever. We want some being like really amazing, calm, gentle, intelligent, all these versions of people. And so again, tonight, the whole thing isn't to teach people how to be the same or like my content. I am allergic to and always have been all the vanity matrix and all that kind of stuff. Matrix is a movie. And so we're going to go through this thing tonight. I'm going to do it a little bit in a fun fashion. So first of all, cheers at the cocktail party. You do usually want to have a drink of some sort. It could be water. Or it could be something else, right? At the cocktail party. So my comment there before I begin is this and your attire, which would be your content, your type of way of communicating your content and your comments and your behavior on DM would need to fit the party. So on this cocktail party, I am going to dress this way because it's a cocktail party. It's in the evening. We are here to network and have a good time. If I were to show up at a networking event and it is an after business and it is at 5:00 and all the men are in suits, maybe this would be okay, but it's a little too much. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a little too much. This might be inappropriate at a breakfast, particularly where you're networking or who you're networking with. So social media platforms, make sure you are showing up with your content and your apparatus in the right manner for where you are at. Because if not, you're faux pasing. There's a fun word for you today. Faux pasing. So you don't want to faux pas at the party, right? You don't want to show up on, let's say, Facebook in a certain genre or post that would have been appropriate on LinkedIn, but it's like tone deaf on Facebook because that's a whole nother party, right? So those are the kind of things we're going to pay attention to tonight and take care of a little bit. I am going to start with, and I wasn't going to do this fashion as a street smart teacher. Like I got a different style, right? And so I wasn't going to give you little definitions and things, but I want to point this out and watch. I do my wording different, so stay with me. The entire class tonight, cocktail party, is on networking. That is the purpose. Networking. Networking is not sales. Networking is not sales. It is a different thing. Networking is relational. Networking is introductions, relational, learning from each other, collaborating in business, which is huge, and I just love it. So I'm going to tell you all about that tonight. And we are on social media in this class. So we're networking on social media as the tool and resource. That's different than you standing at the title company with somebody trying to network, yes? And when you're on social media, I would like to give a great big huge heads up to everybody, and that is, could we please start to understand so that we can all experience it better and be better at it and be better artful and skilled about it, that you are on social media. It is not an entire comment about 10 years of something. It is a comment. It is often taken out of context. It is often, watch this at the cocktail party, emotional. You might be trying to do content or a post and you're being very logical. The biggest difference, heads up, hello. Social media, I don't care who you are or how old you are or what your business is or whatever, social media has become emotional. And it really was from day one if you pay attention. So all of the training and psychology and how we're getting all of our neural pathway and everything, there's not social media that's not emotional. That's a tip tonight at the cocktail party. Why do I tell you that? Here's I'm gonna do some connotations. It's Friday night, so I can do some. So you're at a cocktail party, right? You're on social media trying to network. If you're too emotional, it's like you've had too much to drink at the cocktail party, right? So you start behaving not well. You start doing some things you maybe wouldn't. You're not even realizing yourself, oh, I'm a little bit jacked up and I didn't quite even understand that. And I just said whatever to the boss or the most important person I really wanted to meet tonight. That's something to just give you a heads up about, of like, tone down your emotions on social media. Not that you cannot share them. So I'm a full range. You watch my stuff and I'm a full ride of intelligence and emotion. And you can see my full range of serious to funny to whatever. I do all those things, but I'm fully aware at everything I am posting and doing on front or back side. Social media is emotional. So check your emotions at the cocktail party. They have gotten a little bit jacked up in a whole lot way lately. And in the past bit, social media is meant to be brief connection, comment, thought. It is not a whole discussion. And that's why the party's getting a little rocky some places right now. Social media should be not, and again, I do not mean you shouldn't be saying advocacy things and all of that. Some of that makes it a really interesting cocktail party, right? Like I'm allergic to talking small talk. So if you want to talk about, oh, how's the weather and whatever, like I'm just a lot of decades past that I appreciate a really good conversation and all of that good kind of stuff. But I think it's important that we're remembering we're networking on social media. It is not the exact same thing. It's not fully in person. It's beautiful. There's so that I am a huge advocate of this tool. So although there are things that are not great about social media and all of that, I'm a huge advocate for the good it does. And here's my deal. You are on social media. The user is the thing. You're at this cocktail party and the user of the medium is the thing. And so however you are enjoying it or not enjoying it is how you are riding the bike or you are interacting at the cocktail party. And what you need to look at is, hey, do I need to change tables? Watch this. All my connotation tonight will be back and forth in this cocktail party thing. So you find yourself at a table, which is perhaps a conversation on social media, a particular person, a fight, whatever it is. Change your table. That's what we do. You pick up your drink, you say, nice talking to you, and you graciously move to the next table. Or you give yourself a timeout if you go, wow, I got really heated over there. And actually, that was just that person sharing their opinion. Okay, well, you know what? Party foul on me. I'm going to change tables. I'm going to step back. I'm going to move over. I'm going to look at my own behavior because I'm the guest at the party, right? Part of what we're doing here tonight is teaching you, and I realize everybody's at different skill levels and all that kind of stuff. You are learning to be a great guest at a cocktail party. That's how somebody wants to meet you. That's how somebody wants to meet you. Now, the whole point of social media right now I'm talking about is meeting somebody, networking, learning, all of that kind of stuff. It is a skill. So everybody can learn it. That's what that means. You may not like it, and I do understand. You may do it how you want to do it. I'm just telling you core things tonight. That's it, because you're going to do it in your own style of skill and art, okay? But it is a skill. So what I've told you is networking is the tool or the resource. Networking is the purpose, right? That's what we're doing. On social media, that's a tool or resource. And Being the guest is the skill. So we're going to look at those things tonight. And that's how you got to think about social media. Even if you're purely there for social purposes and advocacy and things, this is all still accurate. So that's what I just want to kind of help you look at a little bit differently. Here's the brilliance. There are a lot of people who would like to argue and complain about, I can't get to the person I would like to meet. Let's say, I hear this all the time about gatekeepers. So people say, it's so hard to get to a gatekeeper if that's who you want to have or meet or whatever. Here's a huge heads up for you. I don't care if you are somebody who's gate kept or you're somebody trying to get in the gate being whatever you think it is, whether it's meet a person, whether it's get to a certain level in your business, whether it's to get to a certain enjoyment in what you're doing. You have the keys. I'm a realtor. I so wish I had keys right now. You have the keys. You see what just happened here? So you just switch seats. It's not a passive, I'm waiting and I can't and I want to and I'm trying. Stop talking about that. It's right here. You are the gatekeeper with the keys. You are the. Now, when I say that, it doesn't mean they want to meet you. They may not want to, but you see what I'm saying? It's up to you to get your skills up. It's up to you to get to the place where they would want to. They might not be the right match or connection for you, and we need to learn some of that as well. But what I want to empower you about is it is absolutely powerful and ability to anybody who is using social media as a communication tool, as marketing, and as their life, which is just going to be it. I don't care if you don't like it. This is just what it is now. Is all on you. That's exciting. Don't get freaked. It's exciting and it's good and it's okay. I'm going to take just a second and pop over to the chat because I see there's already people over there, which is awesome. We got 6 comments coming in here. Hey, Jonathan, how you doing? Great to see you tonight. I love this Friday night. Like people show up Friday night. What a bunch of really awesome, cool people. I love that. Kyle, hey, NavyPaddles.com. He always gives a shout out to his business. And that's okay because we're networking, right? That's all right. Bridget Horseman. Bridget is my EXP business partner here in Wisconsin. And she and I are really starting to crank some awesome stuff out. So she and I each do our own independent business and then we work together amazingly. So she is my huge Wisconsin EXP woman. I appreciate her tremendously. And every single day, she and I are on the backside and the front side together. So I appreciate that. Dave, thank you so much. He's putting in a YouTube watch comment. And so I appreciate that. And Jonathan saying great comments. So we'll see where we can take you here tonight. Here's what I want you to understand. I'm going to tell you why I'm telling you. I have never been trained on social media, not 1 ounce of nothing. I want you to understand this. I'm going to come back and really explain it to you. So I'm just going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you why I'm telling you. Okay. I have never been trained on social media. I was actually, I don't even know how old, when one of my former marketing students, he was in his late 30s. So I was in my 40s. I had 3 kids and blah, blah, blah down the road. And he says, you got to get on Facebook. And I'm like, I'm not getting on Facebook. Like, what would I do there? Like, I don't even understand. Like, why, what would I have to say to people? And like, what is this? It's so funny. And his name is Scott, and he worked at me forever. He's like, you'd be so awesome. We want you out there. Come on. And a lot of my students are still with me today that I used to teach high school with. And I'm like, I don't get this. Like my life is boring. Like, what would I even be saying? I always credit Scott for he is the original one who got me on social media to start with. And why I say I am not trained, even swinging now, where really I live more on LinkedIn. That's my office, my life, my place, my hangout. And I'm on YouTube now. I didn't get trained. And obviously LinkedIn is an incredibly different platform. By choice, I refused it. And I'm just giving a different perspective. Hello at the cocktail party. So I chose not to get formally trained. And I got a little bit of feedback from people. You got an internet. Well, if you watch my stuff, I clearly just do my thing. I am often going, I see what's not working there, and I'm just going to kind of go my way. That's what happened. And so for me, I tell you I'm not formally trained because I am no teacher of the exact way to do it and all that kind of stuff. Here's the brilliance about it, though, because I just ride the bike sideways and I don't care. I have figured out a way that works for me. I have figured out a way that engages for other people. I have figured out a way to give value every single day. And that's the part that matters. So at a cocktail party, I'm not a taker. You shouldn't be a taker at a cocktail party. Who wants a taker at a cocktail party, right? Somebody walks up to the table and they take the whole plate of whatever it is. Like, that's not a good guest, right? And so I have learned to just do it in my own style. Why that matters for you is every single person can learn to do it in their own style with the way that works for them, that connects with the people in the audience and the purpose of what they want to do. That's why that's so great. I also always super counter. There's not one way to do something. I always will say that as a marketing teacher and parent and creative and all that kind of stuff. That's what we need to get away from in our culture. That's what's gotten people an awful lot of this. When things change, I can't function. It's a free flow. It's a cocktail party. You're okay. Everybody's good. If you're hosting the cocktail party, you want good guests. I'm going to give you a few stories here. So if you're hosting the cocktail party, well, I always understand this, like who gets the invites to the party, right? Good people. And a mix. So again, it's not about getting all the same kind of people. That'd be really not a great party or out of control, right? You want people that are all different kinds and contributions and interactions. And sometimes it's super exciting to watch all the guests interact, right? From all the different genres. And so why I say that is you're going to look at it from that perspective. If I want to get invited to more cocktail parties, I got to realize the host wants good guests. So if I show up and I'm a jackwagon, how many invites are you supposed to get? Not at my party, because you know what? I don't want the damage. I don't want my guests exposed to that. And the door is there and I won't be inviting you anymore, right? I also say it, guests, people hosting want good guests. They're looking for what can you contribute. They're looking for what can you contribute. So as you are creating content, whether it be for your business or for your personal brand or both, and making comments and using DMs, you are thinking about this thing of, I want to be a good guest. I want to be a good steward of the platform. It's not cool to get kicked off a platform unless you really don't care. And that's fine. Then you should have walked yourself to the door instead of trashing the party before you left, right? So that's some of the stuff that you want to be thinking about. I have watched on LinkedIn and actually, for a little while, had encounters with somebody who was just outrageously opposite of LinkedIn on purpose because it was this whole thing of I'm an influencer and I'm going to get all these people. What? The person's gone. The person's gone. So outrageous to just be outrageous and to jack up a business platform, let's say if that's that, or for Facebook to be so vitriol that I just can hardly even be on it anymore. I don't want to be at the party anymore. I just not interested in the party. And so those are some things for us to think about as we are hosting on our own page, hosting our own content. Then the guests that are coming, right, are the people, I don't like the word follower, but following and commenting and things like that. In that spot, you switched and you're the host, right? And I want good, interesting people. I want people that get along. We don't all have to agree and be, boring. I like all of the flavor and difference and showing everybody all those pieces. But that's a different way to kind of think about your business content, right? Or your social content and kind of how you're getting along and how you're handling yourself. If you want to be a really great cocktail guest, you want to be in your best form. This is super important to spend a minute on because people misunderstand me. So I'm going to say some things. I don't mean it in the slightest regard of arrogance. People who know me personally, like Bridget, and I know Faith's coming on here, and some other people that know me like in our personal life, and we really go to networking events and parties and things like that. One of the jokes, I get invited because I'm the party favor. Like that's kind of the joke of like, bring Sherry, she's the party favor. And why that is because I enjoy people and I'm interested in all different people. And I'm wanting to talk to everybody. And I'm a good connector, of just, oh, did you meet so-and-so? Like that's me. And I can make it easy and comfortable. Then the host doesn't have to do so much, right? So I'm helping, not in a way of like, it's all about me. I got the neon light on me, right? I don't care about that. What I care about is just, I'm thrilled to be here. And like, isn't this great and interesting and all of this kind of stuff? If you watch me on LinkedIn, I am a huge connector. I do it because I want to, not because anybody's asked me to. Like, there's a place where you can say, do you mind introducing me to so-and-so? But in general, people don't know how to use that well. For me, again, everybody who knows me personally or through social media as a real connection, they will tell you, I'm always thinking about who do I know should know this person? Who do I know who should know their services? Who do I know? And nobody's asking me to do that. And I'm not paid for an ounce of sponsorship yet. So I do it because I sincerely care about the people at the party. I sincerely care about, God, if you need this service, I want you to know so-and-so is absolutely amazing at it. And I'm thrilled to introduce you, and you don't need to say my name. It doesn't matter. And so you being in your best form is, I always say this, if you are quiet, it's beautiful on social media. It's beautiful on social media because it's a different party guest, right? Because sometimes it's too loud and whatever. And then you move to the guest that's calm and sitting in the corner, and you're having the Zen-like conversation, and you're going, oh my gosh, I really hadn't thought about this before, or that, or so fabulous to meet you. That is good for us. And so I say, what you're doing is working on, am I being in my best form? You also, as you're on social media, checking yourself. Like, people don't do that in a day. What we do now is we absentmindedly get on, we go through I'm tired, and throw the phone at night, right? Who's checking themselves? And was I in my best form today when I was on social media? Was I in my best form? Did I treat people the way I really wanted to be treated? Because there's another big one of mine. You just left your digital tattoo out there permanently in the world. Did you see that? All social media is a digital tattoo. Everything, every piece of content, every DM, every comment, every photo, all of it. Digital tattoos. I got like probably 100 and some thousand or better right now. I realize it. But a lot of people don't think about that and sit back in a day and go, "Gal, how did I feel like I did at the cocktail party today, at the networking event, at the business?" I recently just had this conversation with somebody, and that was, how would your boss feel if they were standing next to you? Because you realize they can track all your stuff, right? Some of you might be in a capacity where your employers don't care. Others of you are they very much care, because guess what? You're my lead salesperson. And what you just said out there on social media, you don't have a job anymore. If that is part of your company policy, and I support the employers on that, if that is part of your company policy, because you are representing them. Part of it is your own life, and I get that. You might get away with more of that on Facebook, perhaps. However, we're in a day where that's fair game. I will stick up for the employers, because you are, particularly if you're wearing your shirt, or people would know that is the company that I represent and work for. That's fair. This is what people don't often think about, and I do every single day. How would my children feel if they saw what I said? I don't care how old they are. How would my children feel about their mother based on what I just said to that person? And I put out a wide swing of content, right? So my kids are used to, I'm not telling you have to be like this. How would my spouse feel if they saw how I just treated somebody? Would they be proud of me? Would they be happy to introduce me at the cocktail party if this is my husband? That's some stuff that's good for us to think about, right? And often people don't. Again, the most part of this content is be your best when you're out there, your best self. And again, that doesn't mean we don't have bad days. We don't have sad moments. It's okay to show all that stuff. But again, it's just, you're trying to be in your best form. You're at work and you're out in social. You are not sitting in your house by yourself where no one sees you and you're really ripped up, whatever, PJs and stuff, and you haven't washed your face today. You're on the front side when you're on social. Mm-hmm. So this is a really good tip, I think, and that is to run your content like who you want is watching. Do you know what I mean by that? So as you're putting out your content, and as you're making comments, and as you're behaving in a DM, you are going I've done this for 2 years straight. This is why I have a laugh about this, and I'll tell you my results about it. I've done it for 2 years straight. I know exactly who I would like to engage in the whole world. So for me, it is very much about inspiring everybody at all capacities on social media in their own life, to give them sparks and encouragement and love and, all stories of triumph and difficult and all of that. That's a whole big piece. And I know I'm hitting that. And then obviously there's also business aspects of it in terms of who is my real clientele and who I work with and all that kind of stuff. I have for 2 years straight just run on, I know exactly who I want. I don't even say it always right out in front, but I behave in my content and all of that kind of stuff I am letting them see my intelligence. I am letting them see my skill level. I am letting them see how I handle challenges and really tough things. I am letting them see how I treat people. I am letting them see how I celebrate. I am letting them see how I communicate, even though I've got a street smart form on purpose as a word artist. I'm showing them all of that stuff without worrying about, am I hitting the mark? Am I engaging, calling that person I want to connect with 10 times a week or whatever? I'm not doing that. I'm running my content and my game. I'm at the party. I'm enjoying myself, because watch what happens. We're at this cocktail party and you are interacting or whatever, or if you're purely only sitting in the corner, that's a reflection at a cocktail party, right? Because the person you want to meet is going, they won't engage at all. And I don't mean you have to engage on the front. I'm a huge respecter of, there are a lot of people, particularly business owners and things, that cannot connect, don't choose to on the front, but they will on the back. And then there's a place where you need to have social etiquette at a cocktail party to know you do not say their names. You don't say their names on the front side. If they choose to trust you and talk on the back, don't put them out in the front. They're signaling to you, I'm talking to you only on the back side, in a story or in a DM or something. Don't stick their name out there. It's maybe okay to do their name if their name is on your front side. However, I would still be cautious not to mention them or pull them into a conversation or thing unless you can, and that's okay. That's the part that a lot of people don't have a college class about right here, right? But again, you are letting them watch. Do you see how different this is? So you are at the cocktail party showing all of your skills and abilities and and your ability to gauge what's going on. Okay. So as things get super jacked up, if you're in all the people who are getting super jacked up, you're going right with the whole flow of no thank you for a whole lot of people. What I do is it starts getting super jacked up and I on purpose go right here to calm it down. I go right out there to just nothing but love, or I go funny. So you're going to do your style, but a lot of it is for that person watching you. They're seeing, again, your skill level and how you're handling things. If every day someone's snapping at you, something's going wrong on social media. Something's going wrong on social media. So it's just something to look at, right? At a cocktail party, you want to be interesting. I don't need to be loud to be interesting, right? So this is about emotional intelligence. This is about learning to have conversations. We still have to have conversations. We're just having nanosecond conversations now. So we still have to have the practice skill level, myself included, on how to have a conversation. And it's different with each person, right? That's what makes it a little hard and challenging for those who don't like it. And I get it, of like, gosh, the last thing I want to do is like, it's exhausting. I don't want to have to try to figure out, how do I talk to him? How do I talk to her? How do I, It is good for us, I will tell you still, whoever you are, to learn how to do that, because it increases our intelligence. It increases our skill level. It makes us better with our employees. It makes us better at home. It makes us better in interactions with humans, which we are never going to go away, right? And so that is good for you. So when you're practicing being interesting, you are thinking about things that are not about, so how's the weather? Or do you have any plans this weekend? Hello. There's not a lot of people who have a lot of big plans this weekend because of where we're at. So that's a danger place to go at a party, right? And so you think about what is a different question? What is a different thing you can bring up? What is something you can tell about yourself that doesn't sound so ego-y and arrogant, right? That you can maybe engage them, because the whole point of cocktail parties, engagement, interaction, attention, learning, going away, feeling like that was a great experience. A cocktail party is an experience. It is visceral. It is visceral. It is all your senses, especially when you think about it. See, hear, eat, whatever, all that. And so on social media, you're engaging all your senses. You're not probably eating, but you are engaging all of your senses. And that is a great place. You're using your sixth sense as well. Senses, I would say, as well. And that's the part that starts to be a little bit interesting. So something for you to think about and kind of go, oh, I hadn't really thought about social media like that. I'm thinking just, I got to get a post out. And if I at least said something, I got it done. No. I am not normally negative and I'm not normally super direct, but I'm just going to say it straight up. At a cocktail party, there are no Eeyores. Those are the super negative downers that just drain all the energy, right? And bring the black cloud, and everybody goes, oh, like, I just don't know what to say because the Eeyore just sat by me. I feel for Eeyore, I really do. But I also don't want to hang out with him at a cocktail party in particular. And so I'd like him to just try to get his head up a little bit, see a little bit of sunshine, and then come to the party, right? Or he can be Eeyore at home, it's perfectly fine. But don't come to the party that way, right? Because it wrecks the party. For the host of the event, that's a super bummer, okay? We don't want any leeches at the party. It amazes me the things people straight up ask for and want and do. And so a leech, what I mean is, God, they see you finally figured something out or they whatever, and they're all over you about, what are you doing? How'd you do that? What did you do? It's okay if you ask a question or two. What's a leech or not so great is when it is somebody who is just every single day in your face about, how did you do that? Can I do that? Can it, just as an example, can I be on your podcast? Can I would invite you if I would like to. I invite a lot of people. Leeches are and takers. So we'll move into takers. Like, don't be a taker on social media. This amazes me. When people don't have enough social grace and understanding, you do not say to somebody, you have an awesome pool. Can I come over on Friday and I'd like to invite 5 friends? We would know that's rude, right? We would know you don't ever invite yourself to somebody's pool. You wait for an invitation. You don't ever say, that's like the most awesome car I ever saw. Do you mind if I take it for a spin? You would never say that. And so don't do that on social media. Don't be a taker. There's all different versions of takers, right? So some of it is as a taker is a name dropper, where they'll go, oh yeah, let's say it's a particular person that, people are wanting to meet or whatever. And they will go through publicly and on the backside and everything. Oh yeah, I hang out with them all the time. They're a really best friend of mine, whatever and stuff. No. So don't use my name without permission. A lot of times, right? It's all those same business concepts and social concepts. We aren't going to act totally different because it's social media. A taker would also be the people who slide into your network and then they go through every single person inviting and take, 6,000, 5,000. If that's who you are, I don't care so much. Like, the people will make the decision themselves where they want to connect. That's not my issue. My issue is it is so rude and bad business. And I just don't even understand it I know exactly what you're doing. It's just gross, man. And my bigger issue about it is it's not even for myself. It is for the people that are with me. So it's like the idea of a taker where I have all these guests at my cocktail party. We have a coat room, right? And you're the person who goes back through all the pockets of the people at the party with their coats. Do they have keys? Do they have money? What do they have? Do they have lipstick I wanted? Do they have whatever? I'm just going to, that's kind of you. Don't do that. Or the sabotagers, don't be a sabotager to people. I am amazed, and I will tell you privately right now because I don't want to say it too close to this situation or event. I actually had somebody a couple weeks ago who I was asked by somebody I really love and care for, and is very great business collaborator with me, everything. Sure, would you do this thing? And so I actually was alive. And I said, sure, will you? And this person was supposed to be the guest. And again, I'm careful only because for you guys of just, is it somebody I want connected with me, myself as a human? And is it somebody I want to introduce you guys to and whatever? So I had agreed, and it was a great cause and all this kind of stuff. It was fantastic. And I had done a pre-call, and I am very intuitive and sensory in terms of, conversation, all this kind of stuff. And we were on a Zoom situation, but I could tell, I won't say what it was, but I could tell like, this is red flag a lot, And 5 a.m. in the morning, the person sent me a note and said, I need to apologize to you because I have really said some horrendous things about you. And I have said you are incredibly disingenuous. You're so full of yourself. You're not really trying to help people, all of those kind of things. Okay. And you see the situation, right? This person is wanting to have me be the host because they can't get live, right? They were not approved for live. You'd like me to open up my entire network for you. And yet you are the one who's now saying to you, oh, I'm trying to overcome this habit. I'm sorry I did this and I need to be honest. Guess what happened? The mic is off. You're done. Because I'm not going to do that. And so that's an example of a sabotager of like, are you kidding me? Just in humanity and stuff and all that good things. So the sabotagers, that's a big example, right? But the sabotagers, you know what kind of stuff that is. And if you've ever had a situation on social media and all that kind of stuff, you need to kind of be careful about how you want to talk about it. Right. And so, sometimes we necessarily don't want to share because it might look like a sabotage thing and you're not a sabotager. But you don't want a sabotager at the party. The sabotager at the party would be the person who shows up and tries to hijack all your guests over to the next party, right? Or any of those kind of things. I think we all know what that is. You do that kind of stuff, you're out. That makes a lot of sense. Who'd want it at a cocktail party? I'm all for it. No problem showing you the door at all. Again, we talked about this. Don't ask for stuff. Sorry. Sometimes I get my notes and I get talking on my own self. I'm gonna stop 1 second and check out the chat and just see how everybody's going. Because I'm into my teaching mode rather than my short little videos you guys are used to. Gauge and engage, Dave is saying. And so that's exactly it. I'm constantly like gauging and checking, like, how did that translate and how did this go? I'm all about engagement. I love engagement. That's just me. Like some people don't, and it's no big deal. But for me, I love engagement and I love real engagement. That's why I love the party so much. I have met some of the most amazing people. I say this all the time. I have met some of the most amazing people I never would have met. And I'm talking about people from around the world. Of course, that's so understandable, right? Of like, gosh, I never would have met this person. I met somebody 2 miles from me that I've been here in this town for 15 years and never met. I have met people that, I'll wait just a little bit further. One of my builders down in Naples and Marco Island, I never would have met him. And it all has to do with my social media and how that connected into this whole different market. And I will share some of those just so that you've got it. Hey, here's my buddy Simon. So I got to check what Simon's saying to me. Hey, Simon, I appreciate you very much. So Simon is a guy who, check him out. Simon is a really great collaborator with me. He and I both create content and all that kind of stuff. He is a pusher. He is a friend who will stand at the end of the diving board with me and just go, you just got to jump. You got to jump. You got to jump. And I'm like, it's good to have end of the diving board friends. And what we're doing is we're not jumping to be outrageous. We're jumping because we want to challenge ourselves. We want to grow. We want to make a difference in this world. And he and I are both connected with all of the good in the world. So that's what's super cool about social media and some of this great stuff. Be patient. So at a cocktail party, sometimes you have to wait to get a drink. And sometimes at a cocktail party, you have to pace yourself on the drink, right? Because you don't want to be standing there. I've seen this so many times at Badger Skyboxes. Geez, somebody gets invited to an event. I'm talking about literal drink, but I'm going to make an analogy. So hang on. And they're just pounding the free drinks, right? They're just one after the other. That example in this would be you every single 2 days sending a message to the person you want to connect with, whether you're on Prime or in their DM of just, you need to be patient. You need to have a little bit of grace about letting people go at their own pace. I might want you to hurry up because I got a deadline and I really want you to do this. You might be at a spot and I don't even necessarily understand. Guess what? You're out as a potential hired person, whether that's contract or employment, because you didn't get it. We are at November and we're not at a place where we're ready to talk about hiring. And your last frustrating comment to me was basically forget you. Or if you would have been patient, girl, in January, I'd have called you myself and gone, God, you're the best person we want out here. I've been watching you. You're amazing. Patience, because we are building relationships. Social media is about relationships. That's what it is. Business and marketing is about relationships. You want to be open, right? If you're at a cocktail party, you can tell who's not open, right? They're usually sitting with their arms crossed or whatever, their head down. They will, stay in the corner. It's okay to go in the corner. Corner's a safe spot. I go in the corner. So a lot of people laugh about me. I got two things. When it's physical, in real, introducing and meeting, I still have the middle school, who am I going to eat lunch with if I have to walk into an event by myself? Okay. Why I share that with you, it's super important because it translates out to social media. So everybody would think, oh, sure, you're not uncomfortable at all. Actually, I did a video about this a long time ago and I got like a ton of likes about it because it was, everybody feels like that middle school nerd at lunch trying to find a friend to eat with when you walk into a networking event, right? Or when you come into a social media platform and it's new for you, where you feel like, oh my God, I'm just like trying to get my bearings here, or I'm not comfortable, or I had a really bad dinger about 2 days ago and I don't really want to get back on here and try to engage. We all feel like that, myself included sometimes. I still feel way over vulnerable sometimes. I always feel like, oh, I wish I hadn't said that. Happens. And so I share that with you. Just there's nobody who's a complete rock star at social media. There isn't. But here's why I love the challenge of it. I think it's fun because it's challenging, because it is constantly ever moving. Relevant is huge at a cocktail party. So being open, I can't be able to just talk about 3 subject matters, right? That doesn't work. It doesn't work anymore for sure. So I need to be a little bit more open to be able to talk about relevant things. I have to be skilled so I don't get myself in a jam or get my behind snapped about I said something or did something or whatever, right? About relevancy. But that's it. And then you can also be closed. It is fair. And I want all of us to have social grace and understanding. If a person is closed to you, you need to respect and accept that. That does not mean you keep trying. It's the exact same thing as real life and a real party or a real business you're trying to get hired by. If they are not responding to you, and they are repeatedly not responding to you, get a message that they are closed to the opportunity. No, thank you is what that means. And that is okay. I'm not speaking of ghosting. I am not a fan of ghosting. Ghosting is not, you sent me a DM and I didn't respond. I'm pretty responsive, but as an example, you sent me a DM and I never spoke to you. I didn't ghost you. You have to first have engaged to be able to be ghosted. Okay. But in general practice, one of the things I do not care for at all in business or in, relationships or things like that is being ghosted, because all you have to do is be a grown up and say, no, thank you, or this doesn't work for me right now, or whatever. Okay. So it is appropriate to be both open and closed. And we have the responsibility to read the signals. And sometimes we might faux pas and whatever, it's okay. And then you just apologize, right? If it's necessary. Oh, sorry, didn't, that's great. If it ever changes in the future, let me know, right? No big deal. So we're going to move on to add value. That's the entire purpose, almost entire purpose of social media. If you're doing it in a business context, it's to add value. That's what we want to be doing with content, comments, energy, engagement, offers, collaborations, is add value. It's also for entertainment sometimes. And humor, but offer something of value. Offer something of value. And that doesn't mean, here's a free whatever, try this. I all day long constantly and have done it for years, putting out tons of, I used to charge for all this private coaching, right? In general public when I was doing life coaching with regular human beings, right? And I made a choice of like, I'm just going to give it all out here. And I just do it all day long, every day. I choose to give that. It makes me happy. I want to make a difference. It's all good. Something of value can also be your support, your encouragement. Can be literally offers of things, of we'd like to invite you to this experience and see what you think. Any of those kind of things, but offer something of value. Again, I talked about this, but here's the skill of it. So it's an art, this whole at a cocktail party thing, being a great guest. You're going to show your talent and your intelligence, but you're not going to do it in a super obvious way, right? You wouldn't show up at a cocktail party and say, would you like to know what my IQ is? Because I have a card right here. I can show you, and it's authorized. That card is authorized. That would be weird. We don't do that. And so what you're doing is you're showing some of that by your interactions and connections and comments and things like that. And you're doing it in a way. Now, I am a little caveat here in that I am a teacher. So you will see some of my stuff where I'm sounding like, and some of it I'm doing on purpose as a smart aleck. You got to kind of get to know my style. I use myself as the conduit because I'm a teacher. That's what a teacher is, a conduit. A speaker is a conduit. A conduit is a tool that you use to do something, make something, fix something. So you'll often hear me using myself as an example or using a photo of myself. It isn't that I'm so full of myself. Like the people who know me, I'm incredibly humble. I use myself as the thing, the conduit, to tell the lesson or to teach the thing or to whatever. And so when I say that, mine might look obvious that I'm basically telling you I'm intelligent in lots of interesting ways, but I do it in a way that I'm using myself as a conduit, as a teacher. You are going to do, like I said, the ways of just let it be seen. That's all. Red flags. Ooh, somebody has asked me, and I don't want to do it because it's going to cause a lot of problems for me, but somebody has asked me, would I please do a live about all the bloopers and dings and whatever, particularly on LinkedIn, that are inappropriate and that I've received over the 2 years or whatever. And it's not to be about me. It's about to go, hello, this is what's going on out here and all that kind of stuff. You can see why I don't want to do it, because it makes me a huge target, right? If I share any of that stuff and whatever. And so that's why I'm holding off. However, I'll give you more calm content comments right here. So just a couple spots of red flags. Don't slam the DM. Don't slam the DM. I think that most of us know this, but like, don't send to the DM, here's, I'm selling this trinket and it's $2,000 and you should buy it, right? Like that's the second I or anybody approves you, slam into the DM of sales, right? We all know what that is. Don't do that. That's a red flag of you are not somebody that I care to do business with, because you don't understand how to do business. You don't understand how to do business if you're doing that. Now, I know other people that are in sales will say, well, I don't mind that because we're in sales. We just have to do that. That's fine. And it also means you do that. And so that's fine. You go do that. I just don't want to. I don't want it in my thing. I'm not like that. I am going to first be relational and get to know somebody a little bit. No problem communicating, but don't slam me with that. Don't slam the DM with, here's my resume. Here's my resume. And if you could look it over and you see something that you might want to do, don't make me work. I don't even know you. I've not even said hello to you, and we've not even had a drink, and you are giving me a job for you. No, thank you. Like, that's some of the DM kind of spots. The biggest thing everybody hears me say all the time, please understand the DM is evidence. The DM is a digital tattoo. The DM, you have given the platform you're using full permission to have access to everything you say and do and share and photos and everything in the DM. And it is using that. We have to give permission or you can't use the DM. Do you get that? And it is using that to watch and learn things about you in words you say, rhythm you do, who you connect with. I mean, I get it. That's just part of using the platform. So I get it. It is amazing to me how many people don't understand. When you use a DM, you have given access, and this is what they're collecting and all those sorts of things. So heads up, if you're into a category or connecting with somebody at the party and you really want to get to know them better, and it's, getting to be more social than this, get off social media. Get off social media and do that elsewhere. And it's fine and good and whatever. Like, here's how dumb. If you're going to send a DM and a connection request and go, I can't even believe how gorgeous you are. I'd love to connect with you. No. Like, no, it has nothing to do with, are you kidding me? Like, that is so not at all what myself or tons of other people are about. I'm on a business platform. I'm trying to give value, all this stuff. That's like an instant gross. Like, no, thank you. Other red flags are this aggressiveness. If you are paying attention to what has happened to our world and what has happened to human beings and what buyers like, if you're trying to sell something, or employers like, the aggressive thing is done. Like, the era's done. People don't like it. And so the people who are really all about it are going to keep doing it, and that's all fine. I don't know anybody as a buyer who likes an aggressive person. I don't like an aggressive person. And so that's just a red flag, particularly if you're going to be aggressive right off the bat of like, this is just my style. Style's not for me. It's okay. It's no big deal. The self-serving thing we talked about, of just I'm only interested in doing this or getting this from you. I'm not really interested in a real connection or actually talking to you. I just want to talk to you for a minute at the cocktail party so that, I see that person and I'm out of here, right? I didn't even finish the whole sentence with you. Is this self-serving? Let's not waste each other's time. Let's not waste a lot of time. People don't have a lot of time on social media to just burn hours, right? We have enough going on and all that kind of stuff. Again, that don't waste time is not about the patience thing. The patience thing's good and important, but it is just, we're not going to be on there just to be obnoxious and wasting time. And the inappropriate thing is really important, whether that's on the front side or the back side or whatever. Like, I don't need any Louis Vuitton shoes sent to me. Thank you very much. Just don't. Be memorable. However, you are memorable. You are going to work on social media and enjoy it and build relationships and have a good time at the cocktail party. And you're going to just do that, not worrying about all the vanity matrix or any of that stuff, because what you're really trying to do is real networking and getting to know people and making a difference. And you're going to do that until they remember your name with no name tag. So, could you pick me out in a crowd? Would you kind of know what I'm like and who I am and my values and things like that? You maybe would, people who are here. So I think that part is super important. Have fun, give value, and be a yes. Do you know what I mean about be a yes? Be a yes is when somebody meets you, somebody interviews you, somebody gets introduced through a business connection or any of those kind of things. Be a yes, meaning that when they meet you, they go, yes, that's who I want. Yes, that's what I want to do. Yes, that was a great idea. Yes, I care about that. That's the stuff that's super cool about social media and interesting at the cocktail party and all of this. I will end with one little story and then I'll come back out to the chat again. For those of you who are still here live, thank you to everybody rewatching the recording. I appreciate that. Here's some of the greatest brilliance in our library of life, right? You can rewatch these things. You can get little tips. You might not be ready and you come back in a couple months. It'll be sitting out on YouTube finally because I'm going to put my library out there. But here's just one fun little story about the cocktail piece and whatever. I met somebody through one of my business partners, and I didn't even know who this person was, honestly. I am doing my social media. We had a great interaction and we had a business thing we did together, me and this person that we were introduced to. He had no idea about anything I do on social media. I had no idea who he was at all, right? He then says, let's connect on social media. We do that. Again, the dollar amounts don't matter. I'm just demonstrating something for you. Social media is what got me the opportunity to promote multiple builders that are in the anywhere from 500,000 to 9 million in Southwest Florida. And most of my content is not about real estate. Most of it is the social give and the free teaching and the marketing and all that kind of stuff that I do. Again, it's a whole concept of I'm doing what I'm doing. I honestly believe in giving huge value. I really want to make a difference in the world. That's why I'm doing this. And at the same time, somebody's watching and likes the value piece of my genuineness, of my sincerity, of how I work and what I do and how I take care of clients. That's what's also fun, in addition to the social part of all these pieces. And so I'm happy to share some of those with you tonight. So I'm going to snap right over here before we're done. Yeah, LinkedIn isn't a dating site. So Anthony, golly, I have stories that are just like, some people, I've done a couple of videos, so a lot of people have heard that kind of stuff. I will just make one teeny caveat to that, and I'll say it really carefully. It isn't. So the people who are behaving that way, like right off the bat and stuff, not appropriate, not good, or whatever. However, what I will tell you, because our world has moved to this remote platform, and it was even going on some before, people who are incredibly genuine that you would like to meet, when you think about it, if I were at a real networking event, there might be somebody I really want to meet. We may start working in a business. I've actually had this personally, so I can say this one comment. It just take me a while to say it publicly, but so, there might be somebody that wants to meet you or you want to meet them. You originally are talking over business or any of those kind of things. You maybe are then having a coffee. It may develop over time, just like it might in real life. I happen to meet you at a networking event, not at my job and you are my boss, but whatever. I might have met you at a networking event. And then we over time get to know each other and things like that. And down the road, moving to coffee and whatever, it becomes something else. People do meet that way. I will say I can't even 100% discount that, because that's how I met somebody amazing. So it does happen, but a lot of it has to do with the appropriateness. We are at work on LinkedIn, all that kind of stuff. But we are meeting people in different capacities and networking in different ways now. And so I'll just, add that tiny piece to it. I appreciate all of you guys showing up tonight. Hold you on a Friday night for almost an hour. You are amazing. I really appreciate that. I hope I've given something of value to you. A lot of times I'm just trying to get you to think differently about your own, however you want to go about it. Perfectly great. If you don't believe in any of this and you want to be very traditionally trained, no problem. Again, I just offer an opportunity. Appreciate you at the cocktail party tonight. I hope you enjoy it. I will see you around the block, and have a fabulous evening.